Ever wonder if you have what it takes to start your own business? Have you ever thought about what your life would look like if you had the ability to make more money? Well, the two highest paid positions in the US are business owners and top sales performers. And in this week's video, we'll give you two strategies you can try today that can show you what you're made of and whether or not you think you have what it takes to make it. I'm Benjamin Kowalski with Freight 360, where we provide the latest sales tips and training videos to help you reach your goals faster. So let's jump into it. The coffee discount. Yep, the coffee discount. It all ties into starting a business, which most people are like, really? Yes, really. It's your go-to anytime you buy coffee or tea. Anytime you go to a store, even a restaurant, you can do this. Really anywhere. What you do is you walk up to the counter, you make your purchase, and you say, "Can I please have 10% off?" And then they're gonna look at you really, really strange. And you're gonna say, "Well, you know, this coach I've been working with and this course I'm taking, they said I should ask for a discount." And they're still gonna keep looking at you pretty weird. But then they're gonna say, "Hey, let me go talk to my manager." Okay, sure. Then you either get your 10% off, or they come back and they say no, and you get your coffee and you move on, right? What I love about this, right, is asking people after they've tried this, especially with clients, "Hey, what did you learn about yourself?" And everyone always says, "I was scared, but I had courage because I had faced my fear and I realized that I could probably do a lot more things that I'm scared of. And it's not as scary as it seemed like it was gonna be." And now you can start applying this in everything. Maybe it's with your dating, like asking someone out on a date, but especially in business, which is, "Hey, will you invest in my company? Will you be my customer? Will you give me some feedback? Hey, can I interview you on my podcast?" That's all this life is asking people things. And if you ask, guess what? Sometimes you can get. Life punishes the vague wish and it rewards the specific ask. So try this today or tomorrow. Just make sure that you try it the next time you're buying coffee or tea, because the longer you wait, the harder it's going to be to attempt. Next up, the compliment challenge. And this is the other one that's really universal. I do it. In fact, I did it last week. It was actually pretty fun. The compliment challenge, right? It is what it sounds like. And specifically, what I like to compliment are people on their clothing, okay? And with the compliment challenge, it's just anytime you see anyone with something nice and you're like, "Hey, that's kind of a nice jacket. Those are a nice pair of sunglasses. Like those shoes," right? So a week ago, I was at the mall and this lady had these shoes on that just caught my attention. And I like to think about this specifically with these challenges. You give yourself or myself the 3-second rule. So for me personally, I'm not gonna negotiate with myself. So I have 3 seconds, and then I either have to make the decision to do it and then just go, right? The longer you wait, the harder it is. Don't even think about it. And then by the time you do it, it's like, hey, that wasn't really that scary at all. Now, you'll still have the fear. It's not like at points, this just goes away. It just gets a little bit easier every time you try this. So again, this lady was sitting there having lunch with her husband, and I felt like to myself, I'm bothering her, I'm definitely bothering. And that's really a big misconception in sales. We're bothering the other people. But here's what's fascinating. I go up to her, like, "Hey, I'm really sorry to bother you guys, but you know what? I love your shoes." And she says, "Thank you so much." And I was like, "Hey, do you mind telling me where you got them?" "So yeah, I got them from Macy's." And I was like, "Oh, fantastic, that's great. I really think my wife might like these. Have a great day." And she says, "Thank you very much. That was really nice of you and it made my day." And I was like, okay, went back to where I was sitting. And so that's one of the misconceptions. In sales is what we're actually not harassing or bothering people, when maybe it's actually a good thing, right? When you've got a service that can actually help people, right? Or a product. And people need to maybe reconsider their own perceptions of what sales really is. Because it's all just about getting over the fear of putting yourself out there in a place to be vulnerable. A place where you aren't certain where the conversation or the interaction is going to take you. And once you've mustered up enough courage, right, or confidence to start the interaction or process, it's always less scary than your mind made it out to be. Now, these are two of the best ways to see if you have what it takes to build a successful business. Because it doesn't matter if you're slinging products on the front line of a retail store or you're the CEO trying to sell your board on your next big idea. Success in business goes hand in hand with sales and putting yourself out there.